In this lesson, we're going to go in and start adding some edge loops along the side of our car in order to enable it to be subdivided. And so here is our car. It's starting to take shape a little bit. Got the scoops extruded in. But we know that we've converted this from NURBS to poly, and we know that eventually we're going to actually smooth this out by converting it to a sub-D surface. So there are a few things that we need to take care of along the way in order to get that surface looking like we want. Okay, so if we take this guy and convert him right now to a subdivision surface, and I'm going to just add that to my shelf here. If we go ahead and convert that guy and hit 3 to smooth out, let's take a look at what happens. I'm going to turn my wireframe off. You can see that all this detail gets just smushed out kind of. It's all really soft and there's no real hard edges. And that's because, if I undo out of here, because of the low resolution of our object here. You can see that this is smoothing it between this guy. There's only 3 edges here defining this whole sharp edge. So what we need to do is just to sharpen that up is to add some edges along these corners. Also, anywhere that is a sharp corner that we want to keep, we need to add an edge. So right here, instead of smoothing this around like this, we want to add edges up here in order to retain that sharpness right there, if that's what we want, depending on how sharp we want it to be. All right, so let's take a look at how we can do that. And that's going to cause us a few problems, like around here. We're going to have to continually soften that up, kind of create that circle that we want to maintain, because we're going to be adding resolution along here and also along this way. So let's start maybe at the bottom and look at this. So we want the bottom here to be kind of a sharp edge, and then we want a sharp edge up here. So I'm going to just add 2 edges using my insert edge loop tool right there. And let's see where else. On the inside of our scoop down here, we want to add an edge. So I'm going to just pull an edge right in there. Kind of pull it up next to the side there. Now you'll notice right here, what we have is a triangle right here. So at this point it's okay because that edge that we've added has created this quad here. But we may need to go back in and change that around because we're doing this as a sub-D surface, it's going to be wise for us, even though it's not going to deform. I usually like to make sure everything is 4-sided. So we'll take a look at that. Now we want this edge in here to be a little bit sharp, so I'm going to just add one in there. And you can see that that's now creating that down there, which we're going to deal with. And let's see, we want this edge to be sharp too. Because of the nature of these extrusions, you see we're getting our edges kind of ending up on these triangles here. And the top and the bottom. And let's see, probably want to have one in here. So I'm going to just pop one in there. And when we subdivide that, we'll see how it's affecting our geometry there. Let's go up here to the scoop right here. I'm going to add one right here. And it's going to go all the way up and around and end up turning the corner right here. Okay. And because this is pretty straight, it's not going to bother us too much. But what we want to do now is I'm going to just extrude this scoop back just a little bit. And I'm going to grab these faces. And we want to kind of extrude those back in Z here, just to get a little bit of some space back in there. So I'm going to just extrude that back just a little bit. Okay. And we can go ahead and, if we want to, just add an edge loop in there, sharpen things up a bit. Alright, now let's see where else we need to add some. We need to add some resolution along these edges. We want these to be sharp. And now let's look at our side view here. You can see that these edges are going right into our wheel arch here. So let's go and grab these and space them out a bit. Now these, I want a little bit of edge detail right here, so I'm going to leave these where they are, and we'll tweak those in just a second. Go look at my back wheel arch here. And these I'm going to space out and just try to match along my curve here that I've defined in my image. There we go. And let's take a look back in our perspective and see what else we might need to do. So let's go ahead and add some edges from top to bottom. All right, so I'm just going to use my insert edge loop tool. And for this, sometimes you're going to want edges. In this instance, we have an edge that we want to be close right along here to help define that corner. But let's say that we don't necessarily want it close up here because that has the potential of creating a crease up there where we don't want it. We'd rather have this one spaced out. Now you can either add the edge like this and then go in here and move those points along normal and kind of space them out. Or you can add an edge in the center like this where it's already spaced out. And then if you want to, you can actually, let's see where that is being cut off here. You're going to have to do a little bit of redrawing down here because of the nature of these extrudes, but that's okay. I'm just going to use my split polygon tool. And this is going to allow us to draw edges exactly where we want them. So I'm going to just draw this edge right along here. Like so. I'm just going to end it up right there. And then if I take my insert edge loop tool, and then I can go ahead and connect those so that this is spaced out and these are right where I want them. And then I can just connect those up right here. Like that. So you've got the transition here between, it's as if you had taken these and kind of spaced them out a little bit. Okay. There we go. Now if we take a look at this corner here, you can see right here that if I continue this line, it's going to go down here, kind of turn this corner and kind of go all kinds of crazy places. So let's see if we can do something about fixing this. So it looks like if I take these two vertices right here and I go ahead and merge those, you can see I still have edges going all the way around. And I fixed another problem. I don't have to continue that edge down the bottom, and I also can get rid of an edge that I have going right into my wheel well, creating some problems for me. Okay, so now all I have to do is pick one of these edges that I've got here. Let's pick the bottom one. Select all those edges, and I'm just going to delete that edge under Edit Mesh. I'm going to add that to my shelf. DE, delete edge. I'm going to get rid of that edge and all associated vertices using that tool. And I'm just going to translate those up. All the normals there. And so I was able to, otherwise I would have had to take this edge all the way down, kind of turn this corner, and you can see it's already getting really crowded in here with all of these various edges going on. So sometimes you need to take a look and see where you can cut things off, stop that edge loop. And in this case we were able to wrap it around here, and it kind of allowed us to fix another problem that we had. Okay, so that's just a good thing to be aware of. All right, so I know up here I want to continue this. This is the character line along the side of this car. I want to kind of continue this line, and I want it to kind of taper into the body back here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a line up here, just like that. And we're going to go in, and I think I want this to be, so if I grab these points, I want it to be kind of sort of coming out from underneath, I guess. So I'm going to just move those in just slightly. I'm going to go back here, move those in just a little bit. And same thing right here, just a little bit less, so that you're going to get this edge detail that kind of fades into the rest of the body, going towards the back of the car. All right. Let's take a look at where else we might need to add a little bit of resolution. and just delete my history every once in a while as I get all those insert edge loop nodes going on there. All right, so it's looking pretty good. I think in the next lesson we're going to come back and add some resolution along this side of where this door meets, and also along this door, because as of now, if we sub-D this, we're going to get kind of curved doors here on the corners, and we want those to be nice and sharp. And we want the line here where these meet to also be nice and sharp, so that's going to require that we add a little bit more resolution there. So we'll come in the next lesson, add a little bit more resolution, and clean some of these things up.